So, as you guys can tell from the title of this video, it looks like a lot of the Mega Evolutions for Pokemon Legends ZA have potentially leaked. Now, this is your spoiler warning, guys. I'm going to quickly lay down the groundwork for about 30 seconds to a minute here. If you guys don't want to see any of these mons, obviously click away. Don't spoil yourself. But yeah, let's kind of just talk about what's happened over the last 24 hours, right? So, again, I'm not fully up to date, unfortunately, with exactly who posted what. But to my knowledge, there was a credible leaker named Pyroar. He basically came out and said, like, hey, there's going to be like 27 new Mega Evolutions in the new game. We had Ku come out with this post here, basically, riddling or, hinting at a bunch of the Mega Evolutions. Another important thing here as well to keep in mind here is Centro have come out with this. And there's a lot of people actually kind of tweeting this as well from what I've seen. Saying that basically there could be a Nintendo Direct this week. Which is probably about 24 hours from the time which I would upload this, if this is correct. Obviously, we should hopefully find out sometime tomorrow. But yeah, there is a lot going on. And really, for me, the main reason I kind of wanted to talk about this is, obviously, I'm a VGC channel, and I think that we could potentially be seeing Megas a lot sooner than a lot of people think. I am personally of the belief after Regulation I, which is going to be the world's format, we are probably going to shortly after that get Pokemon Champions released. I know not a lot of people actually agree with me. But I think we are going to see it very shortly after Worlds, if we don't see it at Worlds. And there was also, I believe, something posted on like the Japanese website, basically saying that, hey, Legends ZA is probably coming around maybe September, October. So if that's the case, I definitely see a world where, our format after Worlds, or maybe the second format after Worlds, is going to be something like the Legends ZA National Dex, or sorry, not National Dex, the regional deck, maybe a hybrid between, Scarlet and Violet and ZA. I'm not too sure, but I do definitely think it is worth talking about. Now, without further ado, we are going to jump over here to Pokeos. Okay, I'm not going pro, I apologize. But these here, as you guys can see, are the Pokemon that are supposed to be getting Mega Evolutions. Right now, again, I personally believe this. I have been told by people I trust months before this that some of these mons were getting Megas. There are others that have been hinted at for quite a while. And I truly believe that at least a good probably 80 to 90% of this is probably correct. I'm still iffy on the two legends being Zygarde and Zeraora. People I've spoken to said they haven't heard about that. I don't know who posted these either, so I don't know. But Zeraora is a mon that was, I think, like data mined or supposedly leaked ages ago regarding it. But anyway, without further ado, as you guys can see here, we have Clefable, victreebel, starmie, D-Knight, we have Meganium, Feraligatr, skarmory, froslass, Emboar, excadrill, scolipede, scrafty, chandelure, what's this god? It's chesnaught? Yeah, it's chesnaught. Delphox, greninja, pyroar, dragalge, hawlucha. Eternal floette. This is very important. It is Eternal floette. Says nothing about Florges. Then we have barbaracle. Yep, that guy. Zygarde, drampa, falinks, and a good guy here, Mr. Zeraora. Now, I'm gonna pull up Pokemon Showdown just so I can talk about this a bit better. And I'm gonna. Okay, you guys can't see that. What is happening? Okay, my screens are going crazy. Bear with me. Okay, I'm back. Lovely. So let's kind of just go in order here. I kind of want to just talk about these mons, kind of bit by bit, right? So Mega Clef is really interesting, right? So one thing to keep in mind with a lot of these mons, right, is they normally always get 100 base points added to, 100 stat points added to them, right? Their totals. And of course, HP is like the one stat that kind of doesn't change. But yeah, you look at this mon here, Clef historically has never been anything too crazy stats-wise. Obviously, it's a fantastic Pokemon. It has absolutely dominated the OU tier for years. And of course, in VGC, it also finds itself, a bit of a niche with things like Unaware and Magic Guard. Paired up with Follow Me, of course. And of course, Baby Clef with Dragon Guard and Follow Me has also been very, very good. Honestly, there's not too much to say with Clefable. This is one of the mons where there are a lot of things up in the air, right? One, how does it get its base stats, distributed, right? Because this is a mon where we know it's not getting any HP. And in an ideal world, it doesn't get any attack added. And ideally, probably not even any speed unless they make it really quick. So this is kind of a mon where it really wants those 100 points kind of divided between its defense, special attack, and special defense. Maybe a little bit of speed could go a long way if, maybe it starts getting up to something like 80 or 90. But honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Something like Regenerator could probably make this mon super annoying in singles. I don't think that would be very good in doubles. But yeah, honestly, when it comes to like Clef, this is a mon where I just think about it and I have no ideas, right? Some of these mons I have very strong opinions about. Clef is just a mon. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. This is like kind of a support mon that could maybe deal a bit of damage. Yeah, I'm not entirely too sure what they're gonna do with it. victreebel is up next. Now, this is a mon I'm definitely a lot more excited for. Main reason for that is victreebel has always kind of been just simply a poor man's Venusaur, right? When it comes to chlorophyll, it is, a little bit slower and hits a little bit, weaker. Shares the exact same typing. Its bulk isn't as good. Yada, yada, yada. right? And of course, Mega Venusaur does have the thick fat ability, kind of making it, go from a stun sweeper to a bit more of a bulky tank. And that's where I think victreebel could really thrive, because to my knowledge, like, I'm not actually sure if we even have any megas with chlorophyll. I just want to like quickly check that while we're talking here. Because like, is there any? Maybe this isn't like the best way to go about it. Yeah, I don't know if this is correct or not. But this could be probably one of the better, megas that works in Sun. Of course, Mega Charizard at Y is a Sun Zeta. Probably the better choice for a Mega 2. But I could definitely see a world where this mon in Sun could be pretty damn scary, especially if its speed does go up to, say, something like 100. Maybe you give it, say, 10 into each of its defensive stats. And then ideally just pick one of its attack and special attack. Now, if I had to guess, I probably think you're going to see something like plus 30 attack, special attack, speed, split, 5 into each of the defenses and call it a day. As I said, I would like to see it probably kind of give itself a bit of a different role to Venusaur. Probably make it a physical attacker with chlorophyll. Probably get its speed up to at least 100. But then that attack stat would have to go up, I think, if you want to, kind of justify it over some of the, the other fast craft types. Things like Leafeon and Hisuian Lilligant, of course. But obviously having that poison typing does help. But yeah, when it comes to victreebel, I kind of really just hope that they keep it as a chlorophyll mon. I don't really see anything else they can do with it. The mon's super fragile as is, and it's a mixed attacker. So yeah, something like just, a bit of speed and just, probably maxing out its attack, I think would be pretty damn cool. So next on the list here is Starmie. Now, Starmie is an interesting mon for a couple reasons, right? One, it's only super quick. You look at its speed stat is 115. Decent enough special attack at 100. But this is a mon I do think could really benefit from getting that extra 100, base stats, right? Because when you look at this thing here, yeah, it's a 520 base stat mon, which is very, very good, especially when it's, somewhat min-maxed, right? Starmie's biggest issue when it comes to being Mega'd is this 60 HP. Like, we know this won't get touched when it Mega Evolves. But this is a mon that could really, really use those stats well. I think as long as you don't see any points put into its attack, this mon could be an incredibly good size spam mon. Which is one thing that is like, to note about it. It does have expanding force. And also being that it is a water type as well, it gives you, an answer into things like Incineroar, right? I'd have to, double check the calcs and see exactly what it learns. But apparently it gets Skull. I know it gets Hydro Pump. So I definitely think if this mon, maybe got, say, an extra 30 to 40 points into its special attack, it could be a really, really strong, expanding force mon. And when it comes to its abilities as well, like, Analytic is, like, really bad on it, right? Like, all of its abilities, let's be honest, are pretty bad. Illuminate's bad. Analytics bad, and like Natural Cure, yeah, it's like okay. So I think if they give this thing like a decent ability, and then just, yeah, like kind of just buff up like these bottom 4 stats, even if you just put like 25 into each, all of a sudden I think this mon becomes an absolute beast. Like, if this was like 140 speed with 125 special attack, I think it could be really good in size spam. Next one though is probably the one I'm the most excited for, and that's Dragonite. Now, when it comes to VGC in particular, D-Knight saw a lot of success in Regulation H in particular. When we didn't have any of the legendary Pokemon, this was probably the best one in the format, right? Obviously, we saw a lot of ones like Sneasler do incredibly well, and D-Knight was just one of the answers to it, right? It has 2 fantastic abilities, both in Inner Focus and Multiscale. Inner Focus is fantastic, I think, for the Mega, because basically, even if they change its ability away from Inner Focus, you can't just like swap in your Incineroar turn 1. You can't lead it, you can't pivot it in turn 1, because Inner Focus will still be there when the Intimidate hits, which I do think is very important. And also too, it's a bit, scary to kind of fire off a fake out into it if it hasn't Mega Evolved quite yet. But really, the thing that I believe would be the most scary for D-Knight would be something along the lines of Multi-Scale paired up with a mon with Shed Tail. For example, Earthworm, right? Because basically, for anyone who doesn't know, Shed Tail is 50% of the mon's HP, opposed to 25% with a normal sub. And then Multiscale also affects that. So essentially, in order to break the Multiscale, you need to be able to like KO a D-Knight normally, right? So it is a lot of HP for that mon. And one of the sets we saw pick up a lot, especially in Regulation H, was something like Multiscale plus Scale Shot. And the reason for that was this mon absolutely loves a speed buff, right? And I think we could see a world where you pass, a Mega D-Knight, a Shed Tail, and then they just click Dragon Dance, and then next thing you know, this mon starts going out of control. Especially too, because when we look at the stats here again, right? D-Knight is very likely going to be a mixed attacker, and that kind of saddens me. I could see a world where they're probably going to give it 20 special attack, and honestly, firing off things like Stab Hurricane is never a bad thing, especially if it gets some ability that, buffs up its special attack damage. But in an ideal world, I think we want to see D-Knight get at least 20 speed, and I think it makes a lot of sense as well with this mon's, lore, right? If you go back and read its Gen 1, what's it called? Like, its Pokédex entries and whatnot, they talk about this mon being incredibly quick. Very similar to Pidgeot, Pidgeot's meant to fly at, Mach 8 or some crap like that, and they're both slow as crap. So I think if D-Knight could see, like, even if it just gets up to 100 speed, all of a sudden an adamant D-Knight at +1 speed outspeeds things like a timid Calyrex Shadow Rider. And then all of a sudden, you know, you get this thing behind a shed tail, you click Dragon Dance once, you mega, and then you kind of just start going crazy from there. Like, I truly think, depending on what they do with its ability, and whatnot, I think Megadinite could definitely be one of the best Pokemon, if not the best on this list, right? Honestly, because yeah, I think this one's super scary, right? If it has a lot of attack in a focus, so you can't lower its attack early, multi-scale to help it set up. Yeah, I think this one could honestly be an absolute beast. So the next one is Meganium. Now, the interesting thing with Meganium is this is honestly the worst starter of all time. Competitively speaking, there are no mons worse than Meganium, right? You look at it, its bulk is like super average, right? I wouldn't want to say average, actually. Its defensive stats are really nice. Its HP is really average. I think this is a mon where if you drop 10 from each of his defenses, put it to its HP, all of a sudden it becomes a way better mon. But honestly, I think the biggest thing to speak about with Meganium is its typing. We didn't really touch on the types for a lot of the, you know, the mons we've spoken about today, simply because most of them are dual types. But Meganium is the first one where I do think a secondary typing makes a lot of sense. And of course, there's a lot of speculation around the fact that Chikorita in the trailer used Disarming Voice. The reason there's a lot of speculation there is because Chikorita has never learned Disarming Voice before. And personally, I believe this mon is, you know, I think it's destined for the fairy type, right? When you look at it, it's a flower, you know, all that crap. I think it's destined for the fairy type. I did actually have a video planned, you know, talking about, you know, potentially ways to buff this mon. I haven't got it out yet, and I'm hoping to probably get it out by the end of the year. Probably back end though, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I think this mon with the fairy typing is, you know, it's like a match made in heaven. The issue with grass fairies, offensively, it's probably I don't want to say probably, it is a bad offensive type, right? But in terms of a support, we have seen quite a lot of Pokemon with the typing be very successful. And the main one being Whimsicott. Now, I'm not saying this thing should be a prankster tailwind setter like Whimsicott. I do think it should carve out its own niche. And one of the things I've said for a while is I think a grass fairy type with triage would be really cool. Simply because I believe, like, one, it gets Leech Seed, which I could be wrong. I believe that's affected by triage. You also have things like potentially giving it access to a move like Floral Healing. Unfortunately, I can't show it off here, but it's Comphase move, where you can basically just heal your ally for 50%. You could give it a Draining Kiss as well for a priority fairy type move. There's honestly a lot of things you could do with it. I believe it would also give Giga Drain as well a priority, which could be like really cool. Yeah, in terms of stats, I would say if they do make this like a support, like I don't know what they do with it. Honestly, probably they're just gonna give it like 20 to every stat. It's a starter, like its stats are honestly fine. If this was like 80, 100, 120, you know, 103, 120, like 100, and you just make it like a grass fairy, give it like triage with Draining Kiss, Giga Drain, and some like support moves, I do think could be really good. Its main thing is it just needs a real ability, right? I think if you give it triage, all of a sudden Meganium could be pretty damn scary, right? Then we have Feraligatr. Now, Gator, fan favorite. I absolutely love this mon. I think Feraligatr is one of the best Pokemon of all time. I truly love this mon. But it is one of the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for here? It is one of the mons that really got screwed over by power creep. In terms of stats, you know, its bulk is solid. 85, 100, 83 is like pretty good for an offensive mon. 105 attack though is like kind of bad, and like the 78 speed is also kind of bad. Obviously it is like made up for by the fact that it has Shift Force. But I will say, I think on a mon like Feraligatr, it really does need that secondary typing. I've thought for a while something like Water Dragon or Water Dark makes a lot of sense. I would like to see them also go kind of crazy. I've seen even people say like Water Fighting. I don't love the idea of Water Fighting because we just got Quackleval. But I do think it needs some secondary type. I'm not too sure off the top of my head what the best one would be. I'd probably have to give it a bit more thought. And as much as I love Sheer Force, like I don't know if it's the best ability. Like I feel like seeing something like especially on a Mega, right? Because like if you have Life Orb Sheer Force, it's a bit different because you're Megaing, it feels a bit more awkward. So like maybe something like Tough Claws could be really good. Because Tough Claws would boost up things like Waterfall and does it not? Yeah, it gets Waterfall, like Waterfall and Liquidation. You'd mainly want Liquidation, I guess. And then, you know, maybe if you're like a Dark type, right, you have access to things like Crunch. If it gets a bit more speed, again, hitting like that 100 base speed tier, this one does get Dragon Dance. So a set like this could be like really good with like something like Tough Claws. But honestly, yeah, I think the main thing for Feraligatr is like, one, do they change its ability? Because again, Sheer Force, fantastic ability. Put it on a Mega that can't hold Life Orb, feels a bit weaker, right? In terms of typing, Pure Water, again, kind of boring. I'm sure it'll get something. But it's a mon that could really benefit from 100 stats. I think as long as it gets 100 points, like anywhere but its special attack, the mon could be pretty damn good, right? If, you know, if it gets up to say 110 speed, maybe 130 attack, I don't care what you do with the rest of the points at that stage. Put him into special attack if you want. But yeah, Gate is definitely a mon to watch out for. Like, it's never been good in VGC, but you know, you give it the right Mega. Like I saw like a fan's take on it the other day that By the way, looked fantastic. I believe it was a water fighting type off memory. And they gave the thing like huge power, but it had like 130 attack. Like if this one had 130 attack and huge power, like hell, even if you didn't give it any attack, like you just left it where it is right now and you give it huge power, like all of a sudden this mon has like, what would that be? Like 300, like dude, that's like 50 points more than Ursaluna with Guts Boost. Like that would be too crazy. But yeah, look, Gator's definitely a sick mon, dude. Like I love that mon. It's probably going to be my starter for ZA. So I'm really excited to see if that actually does come to fruition. The next one here is Skarmory. Now, Skarmory in terms of VGC has never been, like, amazing to my knowledge, but it is a very good mon in single, sorry. I think it pairs, like, incredibly well with something like Toxapex. Like, if they give this things, like, Mega, like, Regenerator, it would be over. Again, in terms of VGC, there's not that much I can speak about here. Like, I do know in singles, right, it's like, it has, like, Roost. I believe it has Roost, have I lied? Yeah, it has, like, Roost, it has Spikes. I think it also gets Stealth Rock, and it also gets things like Whirlwind, so... honestly, as like a Mega on like a stall team, I think this could be really good, kind of similar to what Mega Sableye was in the past. I would say it's one of its biggest issues is just this poor, what's it called, HP stat here. Obviously, 65 is pretty bad. Kind of made up for by the fact that it has Sturdy. But yeah, I think if this mon, like it's one of those weird things where it's like, I look at this and it's like, because I know it can't get any points into its HP, like, you kind of just want to see like 70 points put into its special defense and then like maybe a little attack and speed and call it a day. Its special attack, you don't want to see any points go into that though, if I'm being honest. So next on the list was Froslass. Now, this makes a lot of sense because obviously we had Mega Glalie. And this is a mon where, again, I think a Mega could be pretty damn good for it. I think the number one thing is I think Froslass kind of needs to differentiate itself as a special attacker, right? You look at these stats here, you know, 80 in both its offensive stats, 70 in both its defensive stats. I think you just have to give it like the Fluttermane treatment. Maybe you give this thing, say, like 30 to 40 speed. Honestly, like, you make this thing faster than, dude, actually, you know what? It has Snow Cloak. Is there, like, a world where you give this thing Slush Rush and then make it, like, just, like, 180 pointed special attack? I mean, that would be too crazy, but I think, yeah, if you gave it, like, a weather abusing ability, maybe something, like, akin to, like, Sand Force. I don't think we have, like, an offensive boosting ability for ice types or like hail abusers, I should say. But yeah, like maybe if it got like the equivalent to something like Snow Force, maybe you give this thing like 40 points, maybe like 41 if you want to be crazy with it, just so it outspeeds Calyrex. But yeah, I think if you just like give it more speed, more special attack, maybe like a little bit into both of its defensive stats, it could be really good. I also see a world where they just give it 20 in every stat, and it's like, damn, it's that little bit too slow where like it doesn't outspeed Fluttermane even if it's not booster. At 100 special attack, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, I think making this thing really quick and giving it like an offensive ability would be really cool. But yeah, I mean, like you look at things like Mega Glalie, right? Like, can I pull up Mega Glalie right now? Glalie. Like this thing gets Refrigerate, which is like pretty good. Actually, wait, hold on. Is this just what they're gonna do? Glalie, because do these two just share the same stats? Oh no, Glalie's just 80 across the board. Okay. And what did Glalie get? Actually, dude, you do this for Froslass. You just give it 20 speed and 40 into both of those. Like, make this 130, 120. Like, maybe that's respectable. I don't know. Dude, it feels so awkward. If they make this thing 130 speed, it can't play in a format where Fluttermane exists. Like, even like Mega Gengar, right? Like, Mega Gengar is just going to be superior. Like, why run this thing over Mega Gengar when it's, like, the same speed stat? And Mega Gengar just has, like, 60 more special attack, and it has Shadow Tag. So yeah, I don't know, man. I stick with my original idea. Give it like Snow Force and then give it like 41 points in speed and a bit of special attack, and we'll call it a day. But yeah, anyway, moving on. The final starter, Emboar here. Emboar is a mod where a lot of people have speculated on its type, right? A lot of people are saying it's going to get a new type if it gets a regional form, make it like Fire Ground, Fire Steel, I also Fire Ghost. Yeah, honestly, I think it's just going to keep its typing. I don't see a world where it changes its typing. Reckless honestly could be fine. I think if you just give this thing like Flare Blitz and then like I don't think there's a move off the top of my head. Just give it like a close combat, but instead of, you know, minusing the defenses, just make it minus the sorry, just make it recoil. I actually did do a video on this, by the way. Oh, actually no, I was preparing it. I don't think I ever released it. I literally wrote a script about how to fix all the fire starters, and one of the things for Emboar was literally just give it like a fighting type Flare Blitz. That was my answer, right? And then in terms of stats here, One thing, please make it slower. I think if they dropped Emboar's speed or Mega Emboar speed down to 50, all of a sudden this mon becomes an absolute beast. You know, you put it on the same speed tier as things like Iron Hands and Ursaluna. Hell, if you want to make it really good, make it 45. Because if you make this thing 45 speed and it does ridiculous damage, all of a sudden things like Ursaluna and Iron Hands, Calyrex Ice Rider as well, under Trick Room, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, it just threatens them all, right? If they like drop this thing's speed down, maybe give it like 20 into both of its defenses, which by the way, an absolute must. Make this thing like base 110 and then like 85 or 90 in both its defenses. Lower its speed, put everything else in attack. Like, I see it well where this thing with Mega has 163 attack. Like, that just makes a lot of sense to me. They like giving Megas absolutely stupid numbers. So yeah, I would love to see Emboar be like an absolute beast under Trick Room. I think that's the best way to utilize it. I could see a world where they just say, hey, here's 40 speed, 40 attack. And honestly, that would be okay. I think it was like 105 speed and 163 attack with like those, remaining 20 points going into defenses. It could also be kind of good. But yeah, I think the main thing for Emboar is like, one, if it keeps Reckless, does it just get a fighting type close combat? That's like the most important thing to me. Next one though to talk about here is one I'm actually kind of scared to see what they do with, and that's Big Drill. Excadrill, very similar to Emboar. I kind of forgot to mention it with Emboar. But the beautiful thing with mons like this is these really good HP stats, right? Because again, you kind of expect these mons to get buffs to their defensive stats, because we know that HP doesn't change. But when you have such a high HP stat as is, I think it's incredibly good, right? Because you don't need HP on this mon. This mon's HP stat is already pretty damn good. So like, honestly, I think Drill's a mon where you could give this thing like 20 speed, 20 attack, and then like 30 into both defenses. All of a sudden, it's absolutely insane. Like, that's if it keeps Sand Rush as well. I think if they do go something like the Sand Force route, all of a sudden you probably want to see this speed hit something like 120 to 130, especially if you're giving it Sand Force. And one of the cool things too, I would say with Drill getting a buff like that is we are currently in a situation in VGC where we are starved for good ground types. Like, our best ground type right now is Lando Eye, which, you know, with all due respect, is a pretty solid mon. Realistically, it's not what like an Excadrill could be, right? It's a mon where it hits kind of hard and it's kind of fast, but like that's it. Where I think Drill, you give this thing like 155, 165 attack, make its speed, you know, somewhat respectable. If it has Sand Rush, just get it to like 100 and call it a day. If it's something like Sand Force, again, get it to like 120, 130. But yeah, I think Excadrill with like, you know, just a little bit into his defenses, no special attack, and then put the rest into attack and speed. This one could be an absolute beast. I just think it comes down to what ability they give it again. If it keeps one of the sand abilities, fantastic. If they change it, it better be pretty damn good. Next is Scolipede. Now, this is a mon where it's like, again, VGC wise, I've got no idea. Its HP stats pretty bad. You know, its attack's okay, its speed's okay, speed boost is pretty good. I think like if you kept speed boost on this thing and gave it like a bunch of attack, and then like again you give it something like, I don't know, a Shed Tail, which it doesn't get, which is really sad. Actually, is Scolipede available in this generation? Let me quickly check this. Can we get Scolipede? I don't think we can, right? It's not available yet, is it? Scolipede. Yeah, it's not legal. So like maybe there's a world where like we get a Scolipede and it gets Shed Tail. Like its HP stats low enough, I think, to justify it. But yeah, I don't know much about this mon. Competitively, I know like you can get it behind a sub, you can start speed boosting up. I'm pretty sure it also gets baton pass as well. So maybe there's like some world where it's like it's a support with speed boost baton pass towards the ends. Probably not good. Don't use your mega slot on that. But yeah, nothing really to say about Scolipede. Like, it's one of those mons where it's completely up in the air. Scrafty though, Scrafty is a VGC icon. Obviously, HP stats pretty bad. Abilities are pretty good. It gets Intimidate. I will say, I think having Intimidate and then the ability to Mega on top of that, incredible. Obviously, you know, you get Intimidate and then you just get another ability. Really damn good. Of course, it's a really good support with things like Fake Out, akin to similar to like, you know, what Mega Kangaskhan can do. Its bulk is already stupidly high. Like, honestly, all Scraggy needs is like 100 points into its attack stat, and I think you just call it a day. You leave it at 58 speed, you leave it at 115 in both its defenses. Just give it 100 attack, call it a day. Does it get CC yet? Yeah, it gets CC. What would it, like, do you get like Darkest Lariat or something? What's its best dark type stab? It's like Crunch, Foul Play, Throat Chop. Yeah, it's probably just Crunch or Throat Chop. That's kind of sad. Maybe give this thing like a decent dark attack. But yeah, I think Scrafty could be really, really cool. I absolutely love this mon. I think it's one of the best designs. It's also just a fantastic support piece. I love the idea of just like Fake Out on my Mega as well, because like it has utility even if you don't Mega it, right? Like you could bring it on a team where like you have two different Megas, and then you can still bring this and just never, you know, click Mega, right? You've got Fake Out, you've got Intimidate, you can just cycle it. Again, it has things like a strong CC. I know it dances as well, actually. It does dragon dance, which is kind of cool. Like, maybe there's some world where you just play, like, I don't know, something like this, and just pray you don't get a fairy type. Maybe it gets, like, does it get poison jab? Yeah, something like that, maybe. But yeah, Scrafty can be really damn cool, just because it has a you know, intimidate, and then, you know, potentially access to a new ability, right? Shandy. Now, Chandelure is an interesting one, right? Because, one, Chandelure already hits, like, an absolute truck, right? This is a mon where I could honestly see them just give this thing 195 special attack. Just say, here's 50 special attack, call it a day. HP stat, pretty lacking. Defensive stats, honestly, pretty good. And speed, pretty average. I will say one really good thing about Chandelure is it's a Trick Room mon that is also, like, fast enough to play in Tailwind, right? That's one of the main things with it. So, it's like, if they're gonna give it speed or take its speed, it's like, it needs to go one way or the other. It needs to be, like, 120, or they need to drop it to 60. Like, there's no in between, really. It's like, pick one or the other. Again, in terms of special attack, they're going to make this thing like 195 special attack. I'm calling it now. Like, they're probably going to go like 20 attack, 50 special attack, 20 speed, 5 into each defense. Something like that. Call it a day. In terms of ability, obviously, Flash Fire, Flame Body, both like pretty decent abilities. And Infiltrator also pretty solid. Realistically, though, you don't want Flame Body on a Mega like this. One idea that I hope one of the homies did float is giving it its original hidden ability. I don't know if anyone knows this, but originally this mon actually had Shadow Tag. It was its hidden ability. It was just never released in Generation 5. And then I believe it was just changed in Generation 6 to be Infiltrator. So that is something they could always just slap back on the table. It's just say, hey, we're going to give you Shadow Tag back. Of course, I don't think they're going to do it in a world where we also have Mega Gengar. The only way I see this thing getting Shadow Tag is if Mega Gengar loses Shadow Tag. So that will definitely be interesting to see, but I expect this thing just to be a nuke again. I honestly, like, this could be just like 200 special attack. Like, do we have a mon with 200 special attack? Yeah, dude, I think they just say 195, make it the best special attacker of all time, and call it a day, honestly. I could definitely see a world where that happens. Then we have Chesnaught. Obviously, the starter for this generation. Being a starter, has pretty good stats. 88 HP, pretty respectable. Honestly, this mon, in, like, my opinion, it's best set as this. So it's like, how do you just abuse this, right? Stuff everything else. Like, I've seen people go, like, stuff like this. It's not that spiky shield, right? So you just go, like, Iron Defense, Body Press, Leech Seed. You can throw a Grass Stab move on there if you want. But yeah, like, the way you do this is you maybe just, like, make it a little bit faster. You put, like, 50 points into its special defense. Maybe, like, another 10 into its defense. And then, like, I don't know. What's this thing's, like, best Grass Stab? I should have just gone for physical. Woodhammer. Yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe this is the play. I mean, you probably don't want, like, Iron Defense and Woodhammer, though, right? Because you just, like... The next one's Seed Bomb. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe give it just, like, Leaf Blade or something. But yeah, I think the way you do this is you just give it ability, like, I don't know, Shell Armor, so it can't get crit. And then you just, like, Iron Defense up. Absolutely wall the shit out of Urshifus, which, like, one, really good. And then, yeah, you just, like, Iron Defense up, start body pressing stuff, throw out some, you know, leeches if you need to. You've always got Spiky. Yeah, I think this mon could be good. I think you just gotta, like, you play to a set like this. I think if they just try to give this thing, like, 50 attack and, like, 20 speed, like, yeah, it's gonna be okay, but there's just a lot of good grass types anyway. Like, would I want to mega this thing in a world where you have things like Ogerpon, Hearthflame? Probably not. If Ogerpon, Hearthflame's faster, has potentially access to its Terra. Even if it doesn't, actually, I think Ogerpon Hearthflame's probably still just better anyway. But yeah, I think if they can, like, make this thing, like, insanely bulky, give it a lot of special defense, give it a better ability, and then just, like, start Iron Defense body pricing, I think it could be really good. Does this get Wide Guard? It does get Wide Guard. So yeah, even as, like, a support piece, this thing guy could be pretty damn solid. Delphox. Now, Delphox is something, again, I'm really upset because going back to the Emboar thing, I have scripted a video talking about this one and how to make it better. Since it looks like it won't be getting a regional form, the answer is give it Psychic Surge. Just give this mon Psychic Surge, give it more speed, give it more special attack, and you've got a one-man freaking army right here. You know, best part too, obviously being that it's a psychic type, you know, there are a few types that do resist it, one of which, you know, being some steel types. You kind of bop them. This mon, just give it something to deal with Incineroar, and as a, you know, psychic terrain mon, this guy could be absolutely insane. And like, Magician, yeah, it's cool. Let's be real. It's not good. Like, this is not a VGC item. You don't want this. Like, I have played it before where, like, you play it with Psychic Seed, put it next to Indeedee, and then you, like, steal an item. It's not worth it. Like, simply for Delphox, just give it Psychic Surge, give it speed, special attack. If you want to be really generous, give it, like, 20 defense, so it's a bit tankier. But yeah, honestly, I think that's the way you fix Delphox. Just give it Psychic Surge, and then all of a sudden this one becomes an absolute beast. Greninja though. Now, Gren is interesting because Ash Greninja already exists. So for anyone who I guess doesn't know how Ash Gren works, this is actually it's 110 base points higher. So Ash Greninja has 640 special attack stats overall. And when we look at this guy here, right, I believe the way that 110 is split is 40 into both of the attacking stats and then 20 into speed. Is it, how did, dude, Greninja. Is it going to show me? Have I lied? So what is it? 132. So you got 20 there. And then, oh, is it just, oh, it's just 50 into both of the offensive stats. Okay. So how do you make this mon good? Okay. One, right? 132 speed, not enough, right? This thing has to be, at bare minimum, be 136, right? It needs to be 1 point faster than Fluttermane, I think, to be half decent. I would say, if you're going to give me Mega Grin, give it 30 speed. Give it 30 speed, make it 152, allow it to outspeed Calyrex Zeraora if you want this thing to be good in VGC. That is absolutely priority number one. Priority number two, do not make this thing a mixed attacker. I know they're going to do it anyway. Just don't do it to the level you did with Ash Gren, where you gave it 50 and 50. Again, give this thing like 30 into its speed, and those remaining 70 points, you're like 50 into special attack, 20 into attack. Don't touch its defense. It doesn't need defense. It's getting one tap by anything. Honestly, like any half decent mon is one tapping this with a neutral proof. Like Blood Moon Ursaluna is going to probably carry this thing with a hyper voice, right? Like there are a lot of mons, it's going to one shot them anyway, unless you put like 20 into both of the bulks. 152 speed, bare minimum. Put like 50, 40, whatever into special attack, and then allow this thing to be an answer to Calyrex Zeraora, right? Like I don't know if it gets Snarl. Do you get Snarl? You don't get Snarl. Give it like Snarl, give it Dark Pulse, and then just give it like, what's its best water type move actually? What does this thing click? Water. Why can I not? There we go. What is your best water type move? It's Pump. Pump or Surf. Give it like a decent water type move and then call it a day. Yeah, I think that's how they do it. Obviously, it would get a different ability from Battle Bond. I would say just give it Protein. Honestly, Protein probably sounds fine. Dude, now that I'm thinking about it, actually, like Protein Ash Gren with like mixed attack is probably good, isn't it? Because like I think you just like, yeah, I see a world where you just go like Dark Pulse, Hydro Pump, and then just like U-turn. And then just like Protect or something. I don't know. And, like it also gets some like really good support moves as well. It gets like Mat Block, which is like really interesting. You just like protect allies from damage. It also gets like a lot of entry hazards as well, which I know is good for singles. Having access to like Haze could be really good in a metagame where Dozo dominates. Low Kick also actually pretty fire in restricted formats. Like if they gave this thing the 145 attack stat, and you just like low kick like any restricted, you're probably gonna one tap them if you got Protein, which is kind of crazy. Basically I enhance damage without terrain, which is, yeah, pretty freaking cool, man. But then we move on to Pyroar. Now, Pyroar is a mon I was joking around with some of the homies about, saying this could be your Fluttermane counter, because it resists Fairy and it's immune to Ghost. This is the answer. But then you see this special attack stat and you're like, yeah, I'm a freaking idiot. How do you make this mon good? It's just 50 speeds, 50 special attack. As a normal type, it probably, well, I mean, as a special attacker, it needs a better ability. Moxie's trash, Unnerve's trash, and Rivalry is also trash. So yeah, just give it something that's good. Like, I don't know the answer. Maybe like, I don't know, what's the something that like buffs sound-based moves, just so I can like spam Hyper Voice. That's basically it. Yeah, give me something like that. But yeah, honestly, like this is the one where I think as long as they don't invest into its attack, it could be pretty solid. Like even if you just go like 25 in the bottom three here, get it to like 130 speed, 140 special attack, and then just like make it a little bulkier. Because again, 86 HP is actually kind of respectable, right? If you gave him like say 15 to both defenses, this one's bulk would actually be pretty damn solid. So yeah, I think just making it a faster special attacker, give it a good ability, and a little bit of bulk, I think would definitely go a long way for Pyroar. It is Dragalge. All right, Dragalge. I'm not going to say much because honestly, I do not have an opinion on this one. I mean, I have got an opinion, but it's not a good one. Keep adaptability, keep its really shitty speed stat, and then literally give it 100 points in special attack and you got yourself a mon. Yeah, honestly, I think as long as Dragalge's speed doesn't get touched, this mon could honestly be half decent. Because like, you could put it next to, I don't know, say like a Dialga in like a restricted format and just start spamming like adaptability boosted sludge waves next to a steel type on a Trick Room. That could be pretty damn cool. Outside of that, I really don't have anything else to say. Just keep it slow, make it hit a lot harder on the special end, and you've probably got yourself a half decent mon there. Hawlucha is another interesting one, actually, because, like, this one's stats, sorry, pretty average, but, like, it has 2 stats at once, right? Like, give it, like, 80, probably not 80. Give it a lot of attack, you know, maybe make it, like, say, 140, 150, and then kind of just pump the rest into speed. Like, this is a one where, honestly, give it 50 speed, 50 attack, and we'll probably just call it a day there. Could even go 40 speed, 60 attack, but, yeah, Hawlucha, it's a flying fighting type. My god, its signature move flying press as well, definitely really interesting. Combines flying type into the effectiveness. Very, very cool move. Of course, it gets access to things like close combat, and I believe Brave Bird as well, off memory. Yeah, like, I could see a world where, like, maybe you run some move like this. Like, let's be real, you're probably dropping this for, like, Sword Stance or something. That's Swagger Scott. Sword Stance. Yeah, something like this could be, like, really cool and just make it, like, an incredibly strong Pokemon. But yeah, realistically, I think it just needs some speed, maybe like a little bit of bulk and some attack. Like, again, SD is, like, really good on a set like this, so if you can just get it into a position where it can set up, it could be really good. And then really it's just the abilities. Like, Mold Breaker is solid, honestly. I'm not going to sit here and say get rid of Mold Breaker. I do think it's a solid ability. But yeah, something with a bit more oomph would be really, really cool. Obviously, it depends how they go about it, and honestly, I'm blanking. I can't think of anything good for it in terms of ability. So I'm kind of just going to leave it there, and then hopefully we actually get to see something about it in the near future. We have Floette. Now, the thing with Floette is we have Eternal Floette. Now, I believe this one's stats are a lot better than regular Floettes, right? Floette. So we can kind of have a look here. So, as you can see here, Floette is like a bad one, right? 75, 95, 52. AZ's Floette, again, this is like data mined years ago. Pretty good special attack, right? Honestly, it's got some stats, man. Like, its HP stats a lot better. Defensive stats even better. It's like plus like 20 into like most things, but like special attack speed and special defense even better. Honestly, we know this thing like only has Flower Veil. I hope it gets something better when it Mega Evolves. But yeah, I mean, looking at the stats, it's pretty good for a fairy type, right? If this thing got a little bit more speed, and like honestly just some defense, like I look at this, if this thing, like if these are the stats they give it like going forward, because again these were like data mined in X and Y, so it's like technically like not official, right? But it's like it is. But like I look at this stat spread and I'm like, damn, dude, you give this thing like, you know, 40 speed or something, and all of a sudden it's like it's the new gen Fluttermane. Yeah, in terms of obviously viability, we've never seen this mon. Apparently it gets Calm Mind, it gets Dazzling Gleam, gets Heal Bell. Okay. Oh dude, Light of Ruin, how could I forget? It has this stupid fairy type move. That's right, Light of Ruin, 140 base power fairy move. Yeah, it's like double Draco Meteor, but your recoil. I forgot. Yeah, if this thing gets some speed and special attack, this thing could be busted, like no cap on a stack. Yeah, I could definitely see a world where that would be good. We have barbaracle, how do I spell it? Barbaracle, this guy. Interesting one. Tough Claw is obviously very good. I could see a world where if they give this thing Swift Swim as well, it could be really solid. Its stats, honestly, not bad. Like, HP is a little low, but its defense, special defense is good. Its attack stat for Omega's fine, because they're just going to, like, slap 40 attack onto it anyway. I could see a world where this thing becomes a Swift Swimmer, potentially. Even something like with, like, Tough Claws is really good. Does it get Focus Energy? It does not. Oh, actually, until the end of next turn. Okay, that's not what I want. Yeah, I think if this mon got, like, a bit of speed, a bit of attack, it could honestly be pretty damn solid. Water Rock is, like, really interesting. It needs to be given like a good rock type move, like I don't know, give it Rock Ivy Cudgel or something. I don't think it gets like anything good, right? Yeah, it's like Ancient Powers, it's like only accurate move. That's kind of bad. But yeah, like probably just give it like a decent rock type move, give it like probably something that's buffed by Tough Claws, even give it like a Cellar Rock, or just like give it a different ability, something like Swift Swim. And I think this mon could honestly be pretty like half decent. I'll save the legends for last. Next we have Drampa. Drampa is a interesting mon because 1, special attack really good, 2, speed really bad, bulk decent. Like if this is a mon where if they just don't touch its speed stat, I don't think it matters what they do. They could give it 25 in every stat and it's gonna be a good mon. Like if you tell me they just go, you know, 85, 110, what would that be, 160, and then like, wait, is it? Yeah, I think my math's right. And then what would that be, like 216? Something like that, and just like keep Berserk on it, and then you just go like, I don't know, like Hyper Voice. Do you get like Draco Meteor? Yeah, you do get Draco. And then do you have like Roost or anything? Yeah, you get Roost. Something like this, where it's like, yeah, you just keep healing yourself. Like maybe like self-proc your Berserk. I don't know if you can even do it. I think you can. It just says when it like drops one below. Like, yeah, like something like this could be like really cool. You might even just want something that, like, do you get like flamethrower? Yeah, something to hit steel types honestly would probably be pretty good. But yeah, I could see a world where Drampa genuinely becomes one of the best trick room sweepers in the game. Like, a Mega Drampa, I think, has so much potential. Like, they could do so much with this thing. Like, as long as this number here doesn't get above 50 speed, you've got yourself a mod. Honestly, like, you've got yourself a mod. And then we have the last non-legendary here to talk about. Shout out to the homie Spring. We have Falinks. Now, this is a mod where it's like, okay, it has Defiant, right? Defiant's good. It means you can't intimidate this thing. It has, what is it? It's, what's this thing's signature move? It's not, I thought it was Last Resort. Is it Final Stand? What is this thing's signature move? It's a status move, right? It's like, No Retreat, that's it, yeah. Like, again, you give this thing, like, just any stats and it clicks No Retreat. Like, you buff up these 5 stats, which, by the way, all get buffed. You know, hopefully, could all get buffed by Megas. That could be a really good mon, especially with, like, Defiant. You can't lower its stats. Like, maybe you keep Defiant after it Megas just so you can't intimidate it. But yeah, I see a world where this thing just goes, like, No Retreat and then just starts, like, I don't know, close combating or something. I honestly don't know what Falinks does outside of this move here. I think it normally just buffs itself and then it dies because its HP stat's pitiful and its speed's not good enough to outspeed anything to get its Omni Boost. But yeah, you give this thing some stats, especially into its like defense, speed, special attack, and physical attack. And this one could be pretty damn solid. I'm not gonna lie. So last but not least, we have the 2 legendary Pokemon allegedly getting Megas. One being Zygarde and the other being Zeraora. Now, I'm gonna quickly just start with Zeraora. Because this is a mon where like I was told by people I know this thing's not getting a Mega. Apparently it's getting a Mega. I don't know what to believe. People who I trust who told me about some of these Megas literally months ago, and turned out they were correct, told me we're not getting Mega Zeraora. These guys said we're getting Mega Zeraora, so I don't freaking know. This mon though, speed very, very good. I think you just slap 10 speed on this, make it faster than Calyrex Shadow Rider, and you've got a pretty damn good mon. Volt Absorb, while it's not the best ability, still solid, but I definitely think something like Iron Fist, Tough Claw, something like that, would also be really, really good. But the main thing here is its attack stat, because while it is a mixed attacker, this one gets like Plasma Fist and it gets close combat, right? That's its 2 stab moves. Let it just normal moves become, oh wait, what's this? Normal moves become electric type of this turn. Okay, I didn't realize that's how it worked. I thought it was like Formats where it loses its electric attack. But yeah, you give it something like this and then just get like Protect, and then like I don't know if it has a status move or like oh, what's it called? A status move or a English is hard. Setup move is what I was kind of getting at, or like a coverage move, sorry. You know, I think it could be like pretty decent. Like this game moves like Discharge. Apparently it gets Fake Out. Hold on. Fake Out, Close Combat, Plasma Fists. Crazy. Give it like Defiant or Inner Focus. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, honestly, this is one where I think you're probably just going to see it get a lot of speed and a lot of attack. I could even see it get the Greninja treatment where like maybe they just go like 30, 30, 40, right? Make this thing 183 speed for absolutely no reason. And then just give it like 140 attack, 130 special attack. But yeah, it's a mon, it's a mythical. We've never seen it in VGC. Obviously with champions coming out, I do think there is a chance we do start seeing some more mythicals, you know, being VGC legal. Just because hopefully everyone will have access to them in the near future. But yeah, hopefully we get to see something out of Zeraora. But Zygarde is like the interesting one, right? Because like this guy here doesn't look all that good. And like I could definitely see a world where they just keep this thing's ability as Power Construct. Although that probably doesn't make sense because you could just go normal Zygarde with Aura Break, right? Unless like maybe only regular Zygarde could Mega. Imagine they all get their own Mega forms. That'd be kind of crazy. But yeah, you look at this mod. It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier with ones like excadrill, where it has a really good HP stat. I don't know if you guys know this, but 216 HP, it's pretty freaking good. As a matter of fact, it's like 4th highest in the game, which is kind of crazy. Like, shout out to Blissey and Chansey, by the way. But yeah, like this thing has a absolutely stupid HP stat. And it's like, this is the only thing that has really ever held Zygarde back. It is its attack stat. It's abysmal, right? 100 attack is, honestly, it's booty, right? If they just give this thing 50 attack points, 40 attack points, something like that, I don't care what you do with the rest of its stats. Probably just don't put it into special attack. Give it like 110 speed, maybe give it like 110 special defense, pump the rest into attack. And you have one of the best Pokemon in the game, especially when 1,000 arrows is like so freaking good, right? But he gets, what's the difference here? 1,000 arrows, 1,000 waves. Hits adjacent foes, prevents from switching. Oh, dude, what the fuck? I didn't know it got 2 of these. I only knew it got 1,000 arrows. Wait, that's crazy. So, like, you've got, like, a slightly... You basically got Precipice Blades, but, like, it doesn't miss, and it stops them from switching out. And then you just have 1,000 arrows that just hits the flying types. Okay, that's crazy. You just go, like, double thousands. I don't know. You slap on, like, an Outrage. You get, like, a Dragon Dance. Like, let's be real. You're probably just, like, dropping 1,000 arrows, and you're just going, like, Protect. But, like, something like this, honestly, like, let's be real. You're not even running this. Core Enforcer nullifies foe's ability if the foes moves first. Okay. Dude, even Coil is kind of crazy on this mon. But do you get Body Press? That's good. Okay. I was getting a little too lost in the sauce there. Get the E-Speed? What? This thing's too fat to get E-Speed. Oh, dude, I just realized we're so lucky we never got Zygarde in a E-Speed in a Terror format, because, like, if this, do you get Swords Dance? Swords Dance, Sword. No, you don't. Because, like, you just get, like, something like Dragon Dance, right? And then you just go, like, 1,000 Arrow. And then you just go, like, Extreme Speed. And it's, like, anything that resists Extreme Speed dies to 1,000 Arrow, right? Because, like, what, you got the Rock types, you've got the Steel types. They both weak to it. And then you got Ghost types. But it's, like, who cares? You're going to hit just 1,000 Arrow that shit. You Terra Normal anyway, because, like, who cares about them? But yeah, dude, that can actually be kind of crazy. But yeah, look, Mega Zygarde is definitely something I could see being really good, especially too because its HP stat being so stupid. Like, even like a Calyrex Ice Rider, like, yeah, Cali Ice is gonna KO it. But like, if you're not Calyrex Ice or like a special Ice type, you're probably gonna struggle to pick up Zygarde. Like, this thing probably eats like Ice Beams from non-stab Pokemon. Like, I'd have to run some calcs, but like, I'm sure there's like a lot of like strong. Like, I wonder if Kyogre with Ice Beam even picks it up. That'd be like a really good question. Like, Kyogre probably does because that's stupid special attack. But yeah, damn, it's gonna be interesting, dude. Zygarde getting a Mega, like, even if it's just this for me here, like, give this, like, dude, just give this thing like decent attack. Like, give it like 50 attack, and like this mon's good. Like, honestly, it's pretty damn good. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that is basically everything I kind of just wanted to talk about today. I'm gonna like slide this back in here so you guys have a nice visual to kind of close out the day. But yeah, there's all the megas. I talked a lot longer than I thought I would. I wanted to wrap this up in under half, and I've got a little over that. Yeah, I guess, guys, let me know down below what you think. This kind of just, again, my first thoughts. I'm kind of just blurting out ideas here. Fingers crossed 24 hours from now, we actually know a little bit more than we do now. Yeah, let me know down below what you guys think, and yeah, I will hopefully catch you guys in the next one, which, by the way, I will also, I guess, throw this in there before I end the video. I do apologize. I was fully intending on doing a lot of content this month. If you are one of the older viewers, but unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I've been locked in, I've been grinding. I have the Brisbane Regional this weekend, and my focus has been doing good on that. I was really disappointed with the last 2 regionals I played in, so I really want to kind of, you know, get back here at Brisbane, and then kind of just lock in for Regulation I, because we should hopefully be getting that format announced, hopefully next week. Yeah, anyway, guys, that's it for this one. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.